Max, Mia, come here. I want to tell you a true story. Two fathers, same little town in Hawaii. Both worked hard their whole lives.
Ooh, a story. Are they rich?
That's the whole question, Max. One of them had a PhD, brilliant, respected. The other never even finished the eighth grade. Now, one of them died broke, fighting his bills. The other became one of the richest men in the state. So tell me, which one do you two think ended up rich? Max, gut answer.
Easy. The professor. The smart one with the PhD.
Mia, you agree with him?
No, that's the obvious answer, so I bet it's a trap.
Mia's got good instincts. It's the dropout, Max. The one who left school built the fortune. And he's the man Robert Kiyosaki calls his rich dad. Stick with me, you two, because by the end you'll know exactly why and whose advice actually makes you wealthy. So Robert grows up with two father figures. His real dad, the educated one, and his best friend Mike's dad, the businessman who dropped out but built an empire. And Max, here's what young Robert noticed. The two men said opposite things about money.
Opposite how?
Great question. When Robert wanted something, his poor dad would say, "I can't afford it." But his rich dad banned that sentence. He made Robert ask instead. Mia, guess how he made him say it?
How can I afford it?
Exactly right, Mia. You see the difference, you two? I can't afford it is a full stop. The brain switches off. How can I afford it is a question, and a question keeps the brain working. His poor dad said, "The love of money is the root of all evil." His rich dad flipped it. "The lack of money is the root of all evil."
Wait, they literally said the reverse of each other?
Almost word for word, Max. One dad believed the plan was study hard, get a safe job, retire on a pension. The other believed something school never teaches, that you can learn to make money work for you.
But the school plan sounds responsible. What's wrong with a good job?
Honestly, nothing's wrong with a job, Max, and I love that you pushed back. Kiyosaki's point is subtler. A paycheck keeps you alive, but on its own it doesn't make you wealthy. Hold on to that thought, both of you, because it sets up the first real lesson. Robert was 9, younger than you two, when he marched up to his rich dad and said, "Teach me to be rich." And rich dad said yes, but on one condition: he'd teach by doing. So he hired Robert and Mike to work in his store for 10 cents an hour.
10 cents? Mia, that's robbery.
It kind of is, though.
That's what Robert thought too, Max. After weeks of dusting cans for basically nothing, he stormed in, furious, ready to quit. And here's the twist. Rich Dad smiled. Mia, why do you think he was happy Robert got angry?
Because the anger was the actual lesson?
Nailed it. Rich Dad said most people are controlled by two feelings, fear and greed. Fear of having no money makes you grab a job. Then the paycheck comes and greed makes you want to spend it. Work, earn, spend, repeat, faster and faster. He had a name for it, you two. He called it the rat race.
Okay, so what did he want Robert to do? Quit?
Opposite, Max. He told the boys to work for free, and with no paycheck to chase, their brains finally got creative. They found old comic books the store was tossing out and opened a little comic library for the neighborhood kids.
Oh, so they stopped working for money and built something that made money without them.
Mia, that is the entire lesson in one sentence. The poor and the middle class work for money. The rich build things and let money work for them. Did you both catch how she just said that? Say it back to me later. There's a second lesson hidden in that store, you two. Later, Rich Dad told Robert something that sounds crazy. Don't work for money. Work to learn.
Don't work for money. Everybody works for money.
And that's exactly why most stay stuck, Max. Rich Dad said young people should chase skills, not paychecks. Take the job that teaches you to sell, to lead, to speak, to understand how a business actually runs, even if it pays less, because those skills make you rich later.
So a low-paying job that teaches you a lot can beat a high-paying job that teaches you nothing.
You keep arriving before me, Mia. Yes, the person who specializes too early, chained to one big paycheck, is the most trapped of all. They literally can't afford to leave. Learn broadly, and you stay free. Okay, now the big one. The single idea the whole book stands on. Rich Dad said if you understand just one thing well enough to act on it, you can be wealthy. Just one. Max, want to guess it?
Buy low, sell high?
Good instinct, but simpler. An asset puts money in your pocket. A liability takes money out. That's the entire rule. The rich buy assets. The poor have only expenses. And the middle class, here's the trap, buy liabilities they've been taught to call assets.
Okay, prove it. My house is an asset. Everybody says your house is your biggest asset.
Perfect, Max, because that's the exact trap. For most people, ask Rich Dad, your home is a liability.
What? Mia, back me up here.
I can't, Max. Think which way the money flows. Mortgage, property tax, insurance, repairs. Every single month, the house pulls money out of your pocket.
And that's the only test that matters, you two. Which direction is the cash flowing? A real asset, a rental, a dividend stock, a business that runs without you, a royalty, pushes money toward you every month. Rich Dad said every one of those dollars is like a little employee, working for you 24 hours a day that never gets tired and never quits.
So what does the wealthy pattern actually look like?
Picture two loops. The middle class loop. Money comes in from the job and rushes straight back out to expenses and debt. The wealthy loop. Money comes in, buys assets, the assets throw off more money, and that money buys more assets. One's a treadmill, the other's a snowball rolling downhill, getting bigger on its own.
So the goal isn't a giant salary, it's owning enough assets that they cover your whole life.
That's it exactly, Mia. Rich Dad measured wealth in time, not dollars. If you stopped working today, how many days could your assets keep you alive? A person earning a fortune with no assets is just running a fancier rat race.
Is all money the same, though?
Good question, Max. And no. Rich Dad said there are three kinds of income. Earned income, the paycheck you trade your hours for and the most heavily taxed. Portfolio income, money from paper assets like stocks. And passive income, money from things like real estate that keep paying whether you show up or not.
Let me guess. Poor Dad lived on the first one.
His whole life, Mia. Rich Dad taught Robert to take that earned income and convert it, as fast as possible, into portfolio and passive income. Turn the paycheck into little machines that pay you back. That single move is the whole strategy. Quick pause, you two, because this next part matters. I go even deeper on these cash flow patterns in the full breakdown. And honestly, the best way to feel Kiyosaki tell these stories is to hear him. I listened to the whole book on Audible. There's a free 30-day link in the description, and grabbing it there supports the channel. Now, Rich Dad's next rule was blunt. Mind your own business. Mia, before I explain, what do you think that means?
Like, don't be nosy?
Ha, fair guess, but no. He meant your profession pays your bills, but your business is your asset column. And most people spend their whole life building someone else's business instead of their own. Kiyosaki tells a great story about this, you two. Ray Kroc, the man who built McDonald's, once asked a room of business students what business he was really in. They laughed and said, "Easy, hamburgers." He said, "No, my business is real estate. McDonald's owns some of the most valuable street corners on earth. The burgers just pay the mortgage on the land."
Whoa, so the burgers were the job, and the real estate was the actual business.
Exactly, Mia. Your profession can be flipping burgers or writing code. That's fine. But quietly on the side, you build the asset column that's truly yours. That's what mind your own business means.
So working all day just makes the boss rich, the landlord rich, the bank rich.
Everyone but you, Max. So his fix is a habit you've heard. Pay yourself first. The instant money comes in, before the bills, you take a slice and buy an asset with it.
Whoa, pay myself before the bills? That's how you get in trouble.
It feels reckless, and that pressure is the whole point. Poor Dad paid everyone else first, and there was never anything left for him. Rich Dad paid himself first, and let the stress of those unpaid bills force him to go create more money. Same income, opposite order, opposite life. And here's a piece school never explains. The rich literally play by different tax rules. Rich Dad taught Robert the power of owning a corporation. Watch the order, you two. An employee earns, gets taxed, and spends what's left. A business owner earns, spends on what grows the business, and only gets taxed on what remains.
Same dollar, but the owner's dollar goes so much further.
Exactly. And Rich Dad even taught Robert the history, that income tax was originally sold to the public as a way to punish the rich. But the rich understood the law, used corporations, and the tax settled onto the people who cheered for it, the middle class. His lesson wasn't cheat, it was knowledge of accounting, investing, markets, and the law is what actually protects and grows your money.
So it's not that they're smarter, they just know the rules.
That's the whole thing, Max. Financial intelligence is really 4 skills anyone can learn: reading numbers, investing, understanding markets, and knowing the law. Nobody's born with them. You learn them. But here's what surprises people, you two. Even when someone knows all that, most still never get rich. And the thing stopping them usually isn't the math. It's 5 feelings: fear, cynicism, laziness, bad habits, and arrogance. Fear of losing money freezes people before they ever start. Rich Dad said the difference isn't that rich people don't fear losing, it's that they don't let fear run the show.
So they're scared too. They just act anyway?
Right, Mia. There's a Texan saying he loved. Everyone's a winner until they lose. Winners expect to lose sometimes. They learn from it and keep going. Losers let one single loss stop them for the rest of their lives.
What about cynicism?
That's the sneaky one, Max. Cynicism is that little voice going, yeah, but what if it crashes? What if I lose it all? The doubts talk you out of every move before you make it. Rich Dad called those people chicken littles, running around yelling the sky is falling.
And laziness?
Here's the twist, Mia. Laziness almost never looks like lying on a couch. It disguises itself as being busy. Too busy at work to look at your finances. Too busy earning to ever stop and learn.
Okay, that one stung a little.
It's meant to sting, Max, but not to make you feel bad. It's to show you the fixes are habits, not talent.
Okay, so what's the bad habits one?
Good, bad habits. Poor Dad paid all the bills first, then himself, and there was never anything left. Rich Dad flipped it. He paid himself first, on purpose, even when money was tight, and let that pressure push him to earn more. Same money, different habit, opposite result.
And arrogance? How does being cocky cost you money?
Rich Dad had a line for it, Max. Whatever you know, you make money with. Whatever you don't know, you lose money on. Arrogance is pretending you know when you don't, and the market charges you for it. The cure is almost embarrassingly simple. Stay a little humble and keep learning. So how do you actually start? Rich Dad's push was simple. Find a reason bigger than reality, a want strong enough to push through the fear. Pay yourself first, every time. Train your mind to see opportunities other people walk right past. And invest a little in your own financial education every single week.
Give me something concrete I could actually do, though.
Fair, Max. Start tiny. Read one money book a month, or just listen to it while you walk. Set aside a small amount before you spend a single cent, and let it buy your first little asset. Find people who are already where you want to be, and study how they think. And here's a line Rich Dad loved. The A students often end up working for the C students, and the B students end up working for the government.
Wait, why?
Because school trains you to be a brilliant employee, Max, not to build wealth. The report card was never the thing that decides it. The financial education is.
And the best part is, none of that needs a big salary or anyone's permission.
Exactly, Mia. It needs one decision, and then a little repetition.
Start small, stay consistent, and don't let the fear cast a vote.
That's the entire game, Mia. Nobody gets rich in one heroic leap. They get there in boring, repeated steps that quietly compound. So, back to our two fathers. The one with every degree followed every rule the system handed him, and still spent his last years fighting the bills. The dropout who studied money instead of memorizing for exams built lasting wealth and passed it on.
So it was never really about being smart.
Right, Mia. Not intelligence, not even income. It was financial education. The difference between working for money your whole life and teaching money to work for you. One honest note, you two. This is a mindset book, not a rule book. Some of its claims get debated, and it's light on exact step-by-step how-to. Take it as a new lens for how you think about money. Then verify the details before you act.
So, is my house an asset or a liability? Asking for a friend, the friend is me.
And that, Max, is the exact question I want everyone watching to answer. So tell me down in the comments, is your home an asset or a liability? And did this story change your answer? If this shifted how you see money, the full audiobook is free for 30 days. Links in the description. Max, Mia, good work today. And everyone else, I'll see you in the next chapter.